Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is June 11th, 2020, and I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox. My name is Carol White. I am your life detox strategist, and once again, I thank you for joining me on this very beautiful Thursday morning. Um, I just want to say I got a response to my video on George Floyd, case of police murder. And Mr. Bays was not happy with my video. He says it was incomplete, that I did not include that Mr. Floyd was a convicted felon. I didn't include that, he was resisting, he was doing this, he was doing that. He was his own worst enemy. And I'm not saying that it was right, but I did have justification. And I'm a white guy and I'm not a racist, even though I say I have Black friends. Well, all of that aside, Mr. Bays, I want to thank you for responding to me. I also want to thank you for watching the video. Here's a couple of things from police officer standpoint. I don't care what he did. Prior to their interaction with have anything to do with stopping him for passing a forged note. And by the way, Mr. Bays, they found out that the $20 bill he passed was not counterfeit. But let's get back to my original point. It does not matter what that man did in his past. In his interaction with those police officers, there was absolutely no justification for putting a knee in his neck and putting knees in his back. I do thank you, though. I do thank you, because anytime you agree or disagree with me, I want you to say something. I really do. And no, I don't think that you're a racist because you say you have Black friends. But why do you qualify your friends by color? Either they're your friends or they're not. I'm just saying. But Mr. Bays, keep watching. Keep giving me these opinions. We'll keep talking, because we've got to have the conversations in order to get racism dead and gone. Now, this week's topic is racism in history. We need to be sure we create the right history. Now, I'm going to be honest. I didn't write anything down, so this is going to be a little sketchy. It's been a rough week, but we're going to get through this. Now, we've had several instances of death at the hands of the police for Black men and women. It's actually been more than is necessary to count. And we have done our protests, and we have done our walks, and we have done everything that we can do verbally to say this has to stop. Well, now we're getting to the point where we're too frustrated to speak. Now, we're still speaking and we're still having our protests, but the protests are becoming violent. They're turning into riots. And I don't condone it. I don't condone rioting. But I understand it, because the frustration is so high. But we need to be careful. We need to be careful, because we need to make sure that when this is told in historical events, that they don't just focus on the rioting, the vandalism, and the looting. We need history to focus on the reasons behind it. Because right now, historians are like, we can just blow this off and just say they got mad, they got upset, and they tore up everything. No. we need to make sure that when history records this, they record it properly and they record it accurately. Now, I'm not telling anybody not to stop protesting. You keep protesting. You keep marching. You keep doing exactly what you're doing, minus the rioting, looting, and vandalism. But there is another way for us to get our point across without damaging any property. Like I said, the protests are great. And if I were able to walk and stand with you all, I would. But physically, I'm not able to do that. But there are other ways. We have to get the U.S. government where it hurts them the most, in their pocketbook. Now, here's the thing. We don't do a whole lot as Blacks, as African Americans, on the manufacturing side of U.S. economics. But we have an immense amount of power on the consumer side of U.S. economics. You know, I've been listening to a lot of people talk, and they're currently organizing boycotts. Do you realize that in the U.S. economic system, we as African Americans, as Black people, as Black Americans, we generate $1 billion of revenue per day. Let's say that again, because I was shocked and amazed. We, as Black Americans, as African Americans, generate $1 billion per day. Do you realize what would happen to the U.S. economy if you took that amount of money away from them for one day? It boggles the mind. Now, there are two events that are coming up that I love. I think they are the best way to let the U.S. government know we are serious about them mistreating, brutalizing, and killing young Black men and young Black women. Now, the first thing that's coming up, and I have to thank me, give me a second, y'all. It was sent to me through Messenger. Now, I promised myself I wasn't going to lose it, but you know how things go. And I'm going to try and find it. Here we go. Wait, I think I might be able to take up less of your all's time than is necessary. Hold on a minute. Her name is Pamela Wiggins. Pamela, thank you so much for sending me this information. Now, the first thing that is coming up is the National Economic Withdrawal Boycott. This is amazing. It is amazing. Now, the first day that they have listed is Friday, June 19th. They want us to celebrate as a people, as Black African Americans, Juneteenth. Now, if you're not sure what Juneteenth is, I wasn't either. It is the day, it originated in Galveston, Texas, June 19th, 1865. And it was when the Emancipation Proclamation to enslaved African Americans. Still going, y'all. But Juneteenth, it's known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, and Celebration Day. It's an American holiday. And most all states celebrate Juneteenth. Now, the only states that don't celebrate it, Montana, Hawaii, New Hampshire, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Now, why do they want us to celebrate Juneteenth? Because in reality, for African Americans, for Black Americans, this is our Independence Day. It's our Emancipation Day. So we need to be celebrating this. We need to celebrate it as every year. Juneteenth, that's us. Because July 4th, I'm sorry to say, has nothing to do with us. Now, if you get the day off, it's our Emancipation Day. Says my connection is unstable. Isn't that something? Now, back to the National Economic Withdrawal Boycott. Now, on day one, which is Sunday, June 21st, you are to boycott big chain and department stores, Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, those stores. Day two, Monday, June 22nd, you boycott fast food and chain restaurants. So that's McDonald's, Popeyes, Hip Hop, Checkers. I don't know what hip hop is. It's got to be somewhere else. But boycott those. Day three, Tuesday, June 23rd. Boycott online shopping. Amazon, Fashion Nova, Sneakers, Wish, eBay. Just let them go for the day. Day four, June 24th, Wednesday. Boycott the supermarkets. Giant Shoppers, Price Right, Aldi. Here in Chicago, that would be Pete's, Jewel Osco, Strachan Van Teel's, those kind of things. Now, day five, which is the 25th of June, Thursday, you repeat days 1 and 2. So there's no Walmart and Target, and there's no fast food. On Friday, June 26th, you repeat days 3 and 4, which is you don't do the online shopping and you don't go to the supermarkets. Now, on day 7, you don't spend any money at all. That is Saturday, June 27th. You are not to spend a dime anywhere on that day. Now, I'm going to actually post this over on my page in Facebook because this needs to be seen by everybody. Okay? This will work. When you mess with the money of the United States, when you mess with money of these big businesses, they will listen to you. When you tear up their stores, they get their insurance money. They can make the decision to either fix the store or move the store to their business. They're going to listen. And again, my connection's unstable. Now we're better. Okay. The second thing, there's another week coming up, which is called the National Blackout. That is supposed to run from July 1st to July 7th. You are not to buy anything at all for that week. Now, what that means is this. Stock up on what you need and want for all of this time, on days that you can, because the boycott is very specific. This hits particular businesses on particular days. They can't afford that. If this is done on a nationwide level, this will be astronomically bad for all of these businesses. And when you mess with the money, people will listen. They have to. Because now you are exercising the power of voice. Now let's exercise the power of your dollar. Stop telling me my connection is unstable. Thank you. Okay. Now, Why do I say that this has to do with creating history? Can you imagine what the stock markets are going to look like when you're not putting in our $1 billion a day? Think about it. We generate $1 billion a day for these businesses in this country. We have an economic strength that we never tap into. And I know there are people that are saying, I'm not going to be bothered. It's not going to make any difference. Please understand. Now, I understand when you're thinking about it on a global level, it doesn't make much sense. But let's do this. If you are at McDonald's and you order your food and you get the wrong change back, do you just politely say, oh, thank you, it was, I'll deal with the loss? Or do you go get your money? You make people listen to you. If there's a mistake concerning your money, you're going to squawk until you've been heard. Trust me, if we put these economic sanctions in place, we will be heard. And also, if you combine it with these protests, we will get the justice for our people that they so richly deserve. And we can put racism in the grave it deserves to be in. Well, I don't have anything else, everybody. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in for this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox. I am Carol White. I appreciate your presence. I love you to the moon and back. And I want you guys to do everything you possibly can to live your best life. We're going to talk again next week. Bye-bye now.